I was visiting Phnom Penh and I went to the Royal Palace. Somehow this time the mural kind of struck me quite powerful. They are basically the Ramayana, which is the epic home battle between good and evil. That was the part of the India epic legend. So basically, the Ramayana, I have used it before in the early work, Cambodia Splendor and Darkness. Some of it, particularly the wall carving from Angkor, is a depiction of Ramayana. The Royal Palace mural also is the Ramayana. So I photographed the wall murals just because I thought it was beautiful. You have the pandemic and no traveling, and I was going through all my images that I have, some taken over the years. And so that's how this series started. The portrait of the people that were killed by the Khmer Rouge, they're basically scanned images from a publication. I have used them before, but I always leave the full context. That means most of the time I leave the prison number on them. But I always feel like this portrait, I need to give them more. I need to take them out of that context because I want the people to see them beyond that history. And so this time, most of it except number 20, which is one of the earliest work from this series, I purposely cropped the portrait really closely. And so now you basically focus on the face and not the detail like the prison number. I'm trying to get the viewer to look at them as an individual rather than in this horrific context, which is where they were tortured, killed. I want to insert other aspect of Cambodia. These people came from a very kind of rich culture. I was visiting this beautiful murals, and I thought I want to give color, something really beautiful to go with them. It's still complex in terms of there's violence in there, but there's some also beautiful landscape and beautiful depiction, the artistry. It's kind of taking it outside of the prison context, but also put them in a complex place that showcase them as part of that history. The weaving tried to blend them in as much as possible into the landscape itself. I want them to kind of to be part of that landscape that we have kind of ignored because as a Vietnamese, when I was growing up in America, the world saw me through the Vietnam War photos. That's how I was seen back then. And Vietnam was only seen through those photographs. And so I think for a long time, I was having problem with that. What I wanted to show the world was that I'm more than just the Vietnam War photos. And so that frustration, that need to tell the world that I'm more than the war also is translate into this work. And that's why I keep visiting this portrait site. It's just like I've always trying to find way to bring them beyond that context. And so that's what I hope to take them and to merge them to the new landscape to say, yes, they are also a part of this history, this beautiful landscape. My hometown is right on the border between Vietnam and Cambodia. And actually, many of my relatives would live in Cambodia as well. So the relationship between my hometown and my relative is intertwined very much with Cambodia. There is a border, but there isn't really a border. It's quite porous, and we just kind of move back and forth. So maybe that's why there's a connection for me. When I was young, the two communities doesn't feel like it's separate. It's always connected.